We are Chicago's Underground here, and this is The Scene, Chicago music show for Chicago by Chicago. And we are joined live in studio right now by Kelsey Montanez. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so you've been making some noise lately, miss.
Trying.
Around Chicago. Your new song, Out of Sight with Chance, obviously has been blowing up everywhere.
Yeah.
It's you've been on Kiss FM. You've been on Power 92.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for hanging with the little college kids now.
Oh, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's great. I really like the song. So tell us a little bit about sort of how this all started for you.
Well, I started playing music when I was really young. Like, I have a lot of family members that are in music and art and that kind of thing, so I was always surrounded by it. And then when I got a little older, I started playing guitar, I think, around like 12 or 13, and my dad booked me my first show at 14, so I just started playing coffee houses.
Nice.
And, like, playing everywhere that I could, and I was like recording these little basement demos and just like passing them out like after, you know, shows that would come through with the Metro and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I just never stopped. So, you know, like the shows started getting bigger, and I just started like writing more songs and like getting more people interested. And then recently I found Nael from Force 17. That's a label that I just signed with, mm-hmm. and we started producing this new EP, and it's just like a total like mesh of different sounds, and like whatever it is that we're doing, it just like clicked, you know, like we're super inspired, mm-hmm. and it's coming together. And the videos, the two singles have the videos are going so well, and like we're getting such a great response. So
yeah, it's definitely good. I mean, when we were, checking out, we've had you on our radar for a while, and I was like, I can't wait for the EP. Like, I want to get her in when the EP's coming out. So
tomorrow. Yeah.
Speaking of, A Delightful Sadness is dropping tomorrow. Tell us a little bit. You said, you got into the studio with your producer, but what else is sort of in the record? Talk to us a little bit about sort of coming together with it.
The record is like there's only 4 songs on there, but I feel like each one kind of showcases a different mood and like emotion and feeling. Like the first single, 10,000 Bombs, is kind of written from like a darker place, like coming out of like a really hard place in life and just like the struggles and things like that. And then Out of Sight is like a more happy song, like light song, and it's mm-hmm. kind of about like when you do get back on your feet again. And the other 2 are more just like love songs. But yeah, we have like so many songs already that we're working on. Like, it was kind of hard choosing like those 4 for the first EP, because we have so many ideas and so many things that we're doing in the studio.
So do you like, I always wonder, because when artists come through, they're always like, yeah, we had so many songs, and then like, choosing them, how do you do that? I feel like I just like take it all.
Actually, like 10,000 Bombs was the first thing we ever worked on. Like, I came in the studio and that was playing in the background, mm-hmm. and there was like a sample of it, like a beat and like the chords, and I was like, man, I really like those chord progressions. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, I hope he lets me write to that. And like by the time I left, he's like, do you want to just try and see what you can do with this? And so I like took it home and tweaked it and like, rearranged it and wrote lyrics and everything. And that was like, it ended up being like the first single and everything, and like the one that caught the most buzz. So.
Oh wow! It sounds like it came together really, really well. So was your producer sort of like have some stuff in mind for you, or did you sort of come with like lyrics, or how did that work?
It was both. Like when we first met, I sat down with him for like probably like 2-3 hours and just had my acoustic guitar and like sang like every song like that I have written in the past like year, and we just like nitpicked them and discussed them and like went over them and just talked about like music and like and just like got a vibe for each other. And he showed me like his stuff and his ideas, and so it's like really just a collaboration of like both of our creative efforts. And it's good. I think like everyone that we're involved with is super inspired, and it's like it's almost uncanny how easy it's all falling into place. I mean, it's so much work. It's like constant work, but like at least on the creative aspect, it's like everything's clicking the right way.
There's something in the water in Chicago lately, man. I'm telling you.
There is.
So many people are just like blowing up. Well,
Chicago's coming up.
I know. Glad to add you to the list. So let's hear one of the songs. Which one do you want to play for us first?
I don't know. Let's do 10,000 Bombs.
All right, here's Kelsey Montanez, 10,000 Bombs off of Delightful Sadness EP.
Just as well as the sun, then and only then can you survive when weather comes. I've been out of luck, out of control, and out of time. But it's my love that pulls me back every time I cross that line. You've come to take me down. I am bigger than the cell of 10,000 bombs that you tried to drop on my safe ground. Oh, my heart, it breaks from all the beauty that I've seen, but everything worth fighting for turns from a nightmare to a dream. And when that dream arrives, I spend my days on the other side. But in memory, the moon reminds me of what I've won. You've come to take me down. I am bigger than the cell of 10,000 bombs that you tried to drop on my safe ground. I swear that never again will I die what I'm capable of. 'Cause I have hit my rock bottom and then climb back up to the heavens You've come to take me down. I am bigger than the cell of 10,000 bombs that you tried to drop on my safe ground. You've come to take me down. I am bigger than the cell of 10,000 bombs that you tried to drop on my safe ground.
WCRX 88.1 FM, The Scene. That was Kelsey, who's actually here with us sitting right now. 10,000 bombs. Okay. So we've been talking about making her way through the Chicago music scene, and she's had a couple interviews today still already, and she's been so busy, just making music, getting her music out there. But what's really interesting is that she was accepted on NBC's The Voice, and you made it to the Hollywood Week on American Idol this past TV series. Talk a little bit about that. Like, how was that? Like the tryouts and everything, and all the talents that were there.
It was cool, but it was kind of bizarre. Like, I think the cool part about it was that there was so many like really ambitious people and like hungry for the same thing. So the atmosphere was like, it was really inspiring to be around. But the whole thing was very like, it was just so intense, like being in Hollywood and everything. Like, there's just cameras in your face 24/7, and like they're constantly asking you like crazy questions, and you're like up from, like 4 a.m. getting ready, and you don't go to sleep until 2 a.m. And so it was like a total huge like test of spirit and like your energy. But it was fun though, and I met a lot of really cool people, and like I learned a lot about the business too, just like watching the crew people there and like how everything was run. It was really amazing.
I was gonna say, what was it like nobody got to sleep? What was it like collaborating, like waiting to go into an audition or whatever? Because everybody there like sang a different type of genre. Was it kind of like weird, or was it like?
It was cool. I think the best part about the whole thing was waiting in line like to audition. Because the people around, like everyone had just like bust out their guitars, and like you play this song, and like people were doing harmonies, and like there was like people freestyling on top of stuff. Like that was I bet the best part of it all. It's just like the people you meet during the whole process.
That's really cool. And then was it last night you were on the CTA on the Jackson and was it Washington Redline stop just playing?
Yeah, we did this thing called the train tour, and basically it was just me and my guitarist Michael, and we went on the train and we're just like performing the new record and giving out free EPs for everybody and like getting flyers, you know, to everyone. And we had friends and family there helping, and it was a lot of fun. Like we met a lot of crazy people, and like people were getting really into it, and people were excited to get free music, and it was a lot of fun.
Any new like Facebook and Twitter followers now since
yeah,
the jump up?
We had a little jump on there. It was awesome. And I have a permit now for the year, so I think that I should maybe start doing that more often.
Yeah, when I saw that on your Facebook page, I was like, good idea.
Yeah.
Because, you know, everyone like drops their stuff electronically now. No one goes out and, you know, gives it away. And,
yeah, it was cool. You know, I like having those interactions. Like, and I met so many other street performers there too, and they were like totally cool. I mean, some of them were kind of crazy and like, you know, started fights with us, but there was some that like would jump up with us and like were helping us the whole time, like passing out EPs, and
nice.
It was a cool vibe.
You should do a tour of the people that you met on the L and the people that you met in the American Idol line.
Yeah.
And it would just be like,
you know what we did? We filmed the whole thing yesterday, and we like we actually like interviewed some of the other performers too, like what do you do, and we interviewed some just random people walking by, like what do you think about it. So the video should be interesting. It should be coming out I think like in a couple weeks.
Nice, cool. Well, we'll look out for that. So I want to ask your opinion a little bit, because we have, you know, artists coming in every week, and we talk about like the Chicago music scene, and Chicago sort of like on the front page of everybody's, you know, lips and faces right now as far as music goes, and especially like hip hop and soul and stuff like that. So what do you think? I mean, you know, you're up and coming right now. You have a lot of buzz. How do you feel? Like, how's the scene for you? Is it, you know, are you getting a lot of love, or is it been a long journey sort of type of thing, I guess?
I think that right now I really have noticed a big difference, because I've been doing this since I was so young. But I really do feel a difference in Chicago right now, because I feel like there's so many inspired people that it's like everywhere I go, there's people like, man, I'm throwing this show together, or like, come, like, you know, let's do a collaboration, like, come work with this guy. So it's really like, I feel like Chicago is just turning into this big melting pot of like talent. And it's awesome, because you know, people are just building so many connections, and I just feel like there's a good feeling surrounding it. Yeah,
so how did you, because speaking of connections, you and Chance, you know, obviously you have the song. How did you guys sort of come about and put out the record?
We met through my producer, Nail Shahade. He's the owner of Force 17, and he, you know, works with Chance and does things with him, and he showed him the rough of Out of Sight and was like, would you be interested in putting a verse on here? And he did, and it was awesome. It just like, it fit the song perfectly. And
I noticed you've been performing it a lot, you know, at Leaders, and didn't you do another show somewhere with him?
Yeah.
And so how
interviews?
Yeah. How is that performing? Because, you know, doing my research for you, and we noticed that you had done a lot of acoustic stuff, and like you said, a lot of rock stuff, and then you're going to a completely different, you know, audience and stuff. Like, what's it been like to sort of like perform for them? I mean, because you can sing regardless, so people are obviously going to show you love. But I
think vocally, like, naturally, this is like where my register is, I think. Like, I totally love doing the rock. I've always done it. I always will. I think that is like been really easy for me to slip into. The thing that's really hard is like transposing the recorded EP into like a live like show, you know, like live show is so important to me. So we're actually still working on like lineup and like how we're gonna do that. Like, we're thinking about incorporating a DJ and things like that. Like, so we're gonna start up the shows very soon. But I think that's the biggest challenge, is like my background is so just like, you know, like rock and acoustic, and then trying to take this like fully produced pop record and play it live. Right. So it's been an interesting journey so far. Right.
Well, we'll look forward to shows. So tell everybody where they can find you and your music and everything.
You can find me on Facebook. If you go to facebook.com/musicbykelsey. Twitter, it's at Kelsey's Tweet. And the website is kelseyofficial.com.
All right, so we're going to play the Out of Sight song that, you know, we've been blowing up a lot the last couple weeks, and I'm so excited that, you know, you came on, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll have everything, this interview and all Kelsey's links on our blog, so check out WCRX-FM.com, and it was so nice to meet you. So here we go, Out of Sight, Chance the Rapper, Kelsey on the scene.